Okay, so think about this and let this be part of how you look at these things. So we have 3 terminals with 2 different circuits in it that are controlled by electron movement. All right, so over here you can see we got our base, we got our collector, we have our emitter over here. So we see that if we have our base and our emitter, that something happens there that allows the electrons from the C and the E to flow, right? So let's think about this for a second. What do we need if we need to make something happen? We need power and ground, right? Right. So if this is power, this must be ground to make that happen. If this is ground, then this must be power to make that happen. Agreed? Whatever is here flows out here. Therefore, if this is ground and this is power, then this must be power to go down it. If this is power and this is ground, then this must be ground. So if we want to look at this like a relay, this to this would be the 85 and the 86 on a relay, the low current side of the relay. This to this would become the 87 and the 30 of the relay, the high current side. If we look here, right, here's our emitter, here's our base. Here we have a negative, here we have a positive. There something happens. And when that happens, this flows to this. Over on this one, we have our base, which is positive, and the emitter is negative. So boom, when that happens, this flows out of here. Now let's look at it over here. Flow is going to come this way. So when something happens here, here's our flow relationship, then something's going to flow around. I know that doesn't sound quite right, but this is the way things are going to work. And same thing here. We have a direction like this. So ultimately what happens, all depending on the one we're hooking up to, we have a negative and a positive relationship that causes this to connect. And same thing here. The arrows show the direction of the conventional theory of current flow of its base terminals to emitter terminal. Okay? So we are flowing from a positive to a negative. Okay? Our current flow goes through. This is the negative side. This is the positive side. It's moving this way. It also comes down to here. So this causes this to go. On this one, we go the opposite way. Here's our current flow, and here. So here is our connection. Notice this is negative, so this has to be positive. That caused the positive to flow to ground. Okay, so you see how that's kind of going? The arrow points from the P-type region. So here is the P region, right there. The arrow's pointing from it. Over here, the P is in the center, and it's from it. Okay, so the arrow always points from the P-type to the N-type. And once again, if we look at the diodes and look at the diodes, anode is the P-type, cathode's the N-type. That makes this be a positive, this be a negative, this be a positive, this be a negative, this be positive, this be negative. Okay, that's the P and the N's playing a role in it.